Hey everyone, welcome back to Tales Over Wine, where we sip on something good and dive into some of the wildest true stories out there. Tonight, I've got a mystery that'll have you questioning everything. A young girl who was presumed dead for over 20 years might have just reappeared. This is the story of Brittney Renee Williams, and trust me, it's as heartbreaking as it is mind-boggling. So grab your drink, settle in, and let's get into it. Let's rewind to the year 2000. Brittney Renee Williams was just 7 years old when she disappeared. Life threw her some serious curveballs. She was born with HIV, a diagnosis that comes with its own set of challenges. Tragically, her mom passed away when she was really young, leaving her in a tough spot. After that, Brittney ended up in the care of a woman named Kim Parker, who ran a group home for kids with special needs. Now, the last anyone officially saw Brittney was in August 2000. She was living at Parker's place and receiving regular medical treatment for her HIV, including visits to doctors and therapists who specialized in childhood illnesses. But then, poof, she vanished. No one had a clue where she went or what happened. When the authorities finally stepped in, Parker claimed that Brittney had been sent to live with a couple in California for treatment. But here's the kicker. There were no records of this couple anywhere. It was like they didn't even exist. For years, Brittney's case went cold. Given her health issues, authorities figured she likely didn't make it. They never found her body, but with no leads, she was presumed dead. Just like that, Brittney Renee Williams faded into one of those tragic unsolved mysteries. It's heartbreaking to think about how many people must have loved her and searched for answers. Fast forward to 2021 and things take a wild twist. A woman named Kaylin Stevenson from Indiana suddenly comes forward claiming she believes she's Brittney Renee Williams. Kaylin said she always felt like something was off with her past. She didn't have many memories from her childhood, and the few she did have felt jumbled. But when she stumbled across a photo of Brittney online, everything started to click. She thought she was looking at a picture of herself as a kid. Same smile, same eyes. So Kaylin reached out to the authorities. And this is where it gets really interesting. She claimed to have vague memories of being adopted and moving around, but nothing solid. No memory of the group home where Brittney last stayed, and she didn't even remember having HIV. This raised a ton of questions. Could Kaylin really be Brittney? Did Brittney get adopted under the radar and grow up without anyone knowing who she really was? Let's dig into the investigation. After Kaylin's big reveal, authorities decided to reopen the case. They ordered DNA tests to see if Kaylin's DNA matched Brittney's biological family. This whole process wasn't just about finding out who Kaylin was. It was also about giving Brittney's family some closure, whatever the outcome might be. While all that was happening, people were buzzing with theories about what could have happened to Brittney. If Kaylin really is Brittney, how the heck did she slip through the cracks for over 20 years? Some folks believed she might have been kidnapped and illegally adopted, which would explain her hazy memories. Others thought maybe she got bounced around the foster care system and her identity just got lost in the shuffle. But there was also a darker possibility. What if Brittney had been trafficked or sold? That would definitely add a sinister twist to the whole story. Let's circle back to Kim Parker, the woman who had custody of Brittney when she disappeared. Parker's group home came under a microscope after Brittney went missing. Reports surfaced that several kids in her care had faced neglect and mistreatment. Some even said Parker had a history of financial shadiness, like she was getting government funds for the kids, but there were questions about where all that money was actually going. When authorities looked into Parker after Brittney's disappearance, her story didn't check out. The couple in California she claimed Brittney went to? No records. Nothing. This raised a lot of eyebrows. In addition to the investigations into her group home, Kim Parker faced serious legal consequences. She was charged with fraud after being found guilty of siphoning off government benefits meant for the children in her care. Over the years, she was indicted on 73 counts of fraud, involving around $24,000. After pleading guilty to 2 counts of Social Security fraud, Parker received a sentence of 8 years, though she only ended up serving 2 years. This raises even more questions about her involvement in Brittney's case. Could she have been part of something more sinister, or was it simply negligence that allowed Brittney to slip through the cracks? Was Parker involved in Brittney's disappearance? Did she sell or give Brittney away, or did Brittney just slip through the cracks because of negligence? These questions are still hanging out there, and they're super important to this puzzle. Now let's chat about the DNA test results. As of now, we're still waiting for definitive answers. The DNA tests have been done, but the results haven't been released yet. But the possibility that Kaylin could actually be Brittney has blown this case wide open. If she is Brittney, it could reveal serious flaws in the foster care and child welfare systems. And if she isn't, we're left with even more questions. What really happened to Brittney Renee Williams? It's hard to wrap your head around how a kid could go missing for over 2 decades without anyone finding out, but as this case shows, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Let's dive into the theories because they're pretty wild. The first theory is that Brittney was kidnapped and raised by another family. Kaylin's lack of memories about her early years and her not recalling being adopted makes you wonder if something shady went down. If Brittney was taken, it's possible they changed her identity and she grew up with no clue who she really was. The second theory involves the foster care system itself. Some think Brittney's case just slipped through the cracks due to negligence or clerical errors. Maybe she was transferred to another family but wasn't tracked properly, leading everyone to assume she died. If that's the case, it really highlights the need for better oversight in child welfare to prevent this from happening again. And then there's the more sinister theory, human trafficking. While there's no solid evidence pointing to this, it's hard to ignore that many missing kids end up victims of trafficking rings. If Brittney was taken and sold or trafficked, it could explain why she was missing for so long without a trace. So what do you think happened to Brittney Renee Williams? Is Kaylin really Brittney, or is this just a tragic case of mistaken identity? And what about Kim Parker? Does she know more than she's letting on? Before we wrap this up, let's take a moment to reflect on what this case means. It shines a light on the vulnerabilities of kids in the foster care system and shows just how crucial it is to advocate for their protection. Every child deserves a safe and loving environment, and we need to make sure that no one else slips through the cracks like Brittney did. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because this case is as puzzling as they come. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Tales Over Wine. Don't forget to subscribe for more true crime mysteries and wild stories.